Welcome to the Math Section ATI TEAS Practice Question Review, where we're going to go over practice questions for the ATI TEAS exam. If you would like a copy of the study guide, you can find it on my website, blossomwithjessica.com. In this video, we are going to go over 100 ATI TEAS math practice questions. And if you would like a copy of the 100 practice questions, you can get that on my website, which will be linked down below. So the first question, convert the decimal 0.25 to a fraction. So what we have to do first is make 0.25 into a fraction. So 0.25 can either go into a fraction as 0.25 over 1 or 25 over 100, which is probably the easier way to look at it. Then what we need to do is we need to simplify the fraction. So if we look at 25 goes into 100 4 times, and it goes into itself once. So this would be further reduced down to 1/4, and that would be our answer. All right. Question 2, convert the fraction 3/4 to a decimal. So first thing we're going to do is we have our fraction 3/4. So what we can do is we can divide 3 divided by 4. Now remember, on the ATI TEAS 7 exam, you're going to have access to a calculator. So you don't need to do this in your head. Just type into your calculator 3 divided by 4. And what you're going to get is 0.75. And that is going to be your answer. Okay. 3. Convert the fraction 7/8 to a percentage. All right, so in order to make a percentage, what we want to first do is we have 7 over 8, and we want to multiply it by 100. So again, we have a calculator. So you're going to divide 7 divided by 8. Let me do it this way. 7 divided by 8. You'll plug that into your calculator, and then you'll multiply that times 100. And what you're going to get is 87.5, and that is your percent. Okay, so 4. Convert the percentage 60% to a fraction. So 60%, we can think of that as 60 over 100. So then we're going to plug this in. We're going to reduce this down further because it can be reduced down. And what we can see is that 20 goes into both 60 and 100. So 20 goes into 60 3 times, and it goes into 100 5 times. So that is going to be our answer. Okay. So 5, convert the percentage 12.5 to a decimal. So what we're going to do is take 12.5 and we're going to divide it by 100 because we're converting the percent to a decimal. So again, we can either plug this into our calculator or we can move the decimal place over. So say you just plug it into your calculator, that's probably the easiest way. You're going to get 0.125. And this is going to be your answer. 6. Add the fractions 2/3 and 1/4. So the first thing we want to do is find the common denominator. Now, we know that the numerator is the number on top and the denominator is the number on the bottom. So we need to make the bottom numbers be the same. So we have 2/3 and we have 1/4. So in order to make these a common denominator, we need to find a number that both of those can be multiplied into. So for example, just looking at this, let's see, so 3, 4 does not go into 3, so that doesn't work. If we do 3 times 2, that's 6. 4 doesn't go into 6 evenly, so that doesn't work. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 doesn't go into 9 evenly, so that doesn't work. 3 times 4 is 12. Well, 4 times 3 is 12, so perfect, that works. So we're going to convert into common denominators. So 3 times 4 is 12, and 2 times 4 is 8. And we come over to 1/4, so we're going to use this one. And then we come over to 1/4, 4 times 3 is 12, and 1 times 3 is 3. So now we're going to add these. So we have 8 over 12 plus 3 over 12. Now when we add, we keep the same denominator. So our answer is going to be over 12, and we're going to add our numerators. So we're going to have 11 over 12, and that is our answer. So coming down to 7, subtract the fractions 5 over 6 and 1/3. So again, we need to find the common denominator. This is important when we are adding and subtracting fractions. So we have 5/6 and we have 1/3. Well, 3 goes in, 3 times 2 is 6. So we can keep our 5/6 and we can convert 1/3. We can do 3 times 2 is 6 and 1 times 2 is 2. So now we're going to take our 5/6 and we're going to subtract 2/6. And what we do is we keep the same denominator, so that's going to be 6. 5 minus 2 is 3. And this can be further reduced down because 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. So our answer is 1/2. So then when we come to multiplying fractions, what we're going to do is just multiply across. So we have 3 over 5 times 2 over 3. So what we're going to do is multiply across. So 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15. And we can further reduce this down because 3 goes into 15 5 times and 3 goes into 6 twice. So 2/5. And that is our final answer. Then when we come down to dividing fractions, this has an extra step. It's very similar to multiplying, but what we have to do is we have to flip the fraction. And we're going to flip the second one. So I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to have 4 over 7 divided by 2/5. So in order to do this, we're going to flip the fraction and multiply. Okay, so what we're going to do is flip this fraction. So it's going to become 4 over 7, and we're going to multiply. So times 5 over 2. And now we're going to multiply across like we did for our multiplication one. So 4 times 5 is 20, and 7 times 2 is 14. And we can further reduce this because 2 goes into both of these numbers, so it's going to be 10 over 7. And that will be our final answer. So remember, when you divide, you flip the second fraction and you change it to a multiplication problem. All right, now we're going to add decimals. Now, again, remember, you have a calculator on the ATI TEAS 7 exam, but if we're going to just do this in our head, 0.4 plus 0.6, 4 plus 6 equals 10. So it's just going to be 1, and that's your answer, 1.0. Okay. And again, you have a calculator, but if we were going to do this out on paper, 0.35 minus 0.15 equals 0.20. Right? And again, you're going to have a calculator, but we're going to just do this out on paper. So 0.12 times 5 equals 5 times 2 is 10, so 0, carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. And then we have a 0.0. So that is going to be your answer. And again, you have a calculator, so anything that is performing a calculation like this, and you will have some, you just plug it into your calculator. So 3.2 divided by 0.8. So the easiest way to do this is to multiply both of these by 10. But again, you have a calculator, so you just plug this in, you're going to get your answer. But if we multiply these by 10, you get 32 divided by 8, and that's going to equal 4. Your answer is 4. Solve the expression following the order of operations. So remember, order of operations is parentheses, power, multiplication, division, add, subtract. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we have 3 plus 4 times 2 minus 1. So the first thing we're going to do is, there's no powers, so parentheses. So this is our first step. So this is going to go to 3 plus 4 times 2 minus 1 is 1. The next step we're going to do is multiply. So now we're going to do this step. So this is going to become 3 plus 4 times 1 is 4. And now we're going to add, which is going to equal 7, and that is our answer. So again, following the order of operations, solve this problem. So we have 5 times 4 plus 6 divided by 2. So the first thing we are going to do is our parentheses. So 4 plus 6. This is going to become 5 times 4 plus 6 is 10, and then divided by 2. Next, we are going to multiply. So we're going to have 50 divided by 2, and this is going to equal 25, and that is our answer. All right, so determine if negative 7 over 4 is a rational number. So this is just knowledge, so the answer is yes, and that is because it can be expressed as a ratio of 2 integers. So solve the equation 2x minus 5 equals 9. So we're going to have 2x minus 5 equals 9. So the first thing that we're going to do is we want to get x on one side of the equation because we want to figure out what x is. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 5 to both sides. So now this is going to become 2x equals 14. Now what we're going to do again is we want to get x alone. So we're going to divide 2 on each side so these cancel out. And this is going to be x equals 7. And that is your answer. All right, so solve the equation 3 times parentheses x plus 2 equals 12. So we have 3x plus 2 equals 12. So what we have to do is multiply 3 by x, but then also by 2. So this is going to go to 3x plus 6 equals 12. So again, same as the last problem, we want to get x alone on one side of the equation. So first thing we're going to do is minus 6 from both sides. This is going to give us 3x equals 6. Then we're going to divide 3 by both sides, so that cancels out. And we're going to get x equals 2. And that is your answer. So a shirt originally cost $50. After a 20% discount, what is the new price? So first we need to figure out the discount. So we have $50 times 20% is equal to 0.2. So we're going to multiply it by 0.2, and this is going to give us $10. So the new price is going to be $50 minus $10 equals $40, and that is your answer. If a car rental costs $30 a day and the total cost was $210, how many days was the car rented? So we have a total cost of $210, and we want to divide this by $30 because it's 30 per day, and we want to figure out how many days. So just remember, again, you have a calculator, but if we were going to do this in our head, we can cancel out the zeros. 3 goes into 21 7 times. So the answer is 7 days. So now round the decimal, 3.141592 to the 2 decimal places. So this would be 1 decimal place, this would be 2 decimal places. Now the number after that is 1, so we don't round up, we round down. If it was 5 or higher, we would round up. If it's 4 or lower, we round down. So the answer is 3.14. Estimate the sum of 12.36 plus 7.89. So the key word here is estimate. So 12.36, estimating that, would change to 12. And that's because after the decimal place, we have 3. And we just talked about if it's 5 or greater, we round up. And if it's 4 or lower, we round down. So we're rounding down to 12. Then we have 7.89. So again, after the decimal point, our place is 8. So we're rounding up. And that's going to round up to 8. So 12 plus 8 equals 20. And that is our answer, 20. So a recipe calls for a 2 to 3 ratio of flour to sugar. If there are 4 cups of flour, how much sugar is needed? So what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 cups of flour, and we're going to divide that by 2, because this is our flour is 2 and our sugar is 3. So flour 2, sugar 3. And then we are going to times it by 3, because our ratio is 2 to 3. So for we have to remember every 2 cups of flour, there is 3 cups of sugar. So if we do this, what we're going to get is 4 divided by 2 is going to be 2. And then we're going to multiply that by 3 equals 6. So our answer is going to be 6 cups of sugar. Write an equation from the expression 3 times a number of minus 5 equals 7. So 3 times a number, this is x. So 3x minus 5 equals 7. And that is our answer. Find the slope of a line that passes through the points 3, 4, and 6, 10. So there's a couple steps to this. So the first step is this is going to be our x1 and our y1 and our x2 and our y2. That is the way that slope is written. We also need to know the equation for slope. So that is going to be m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So now if we just plug the numbers in, m is our slope, equals 10 minus 4 and 6 minus 3. So this is going to equal 10 minus 4 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. So we have 6 divided by 3. And that is going to equal 2. So that is our answer. The slope is 2. All right, when we look at tables, the answer is right in front of us. So for example, which fruit had the most sales? Apples had 100, bananas had 150, and oranges had 75. So the answer is bananas. Looking at this next table, what was the total revenue for 3 months? So January we have 5,000, February we have 4,500, and March we have 5,500. So we want to know the total revenue. So we add them together. 5,000 plus 4,500 plus 5,500 equals $15,000. And that is our total revenue. Right. So we want to correlate the values of x and y in the table. So here are our x's, those are here, and here are our y's. So the relationship, so if x is 1, then y is 2. If x is 2, then y is 4. And if x is 3, then our y is 6. So what do we notice? Well, we can see that 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. So our relationship is that y equals 2x. Number 29. Find the area of a rectangle with the length of 8 and the width of 5. So we need to know the equation for finding the area of a rectangle. And so that is going to be area equals length times width. So what we're going to do is we're just going to plug in our numbers. So the area equals 8 times 5. So that is going to equal 40 square units. And that is our answer. 30. Calculate the area of a triangle with the base of 10 and the height of 6. So again, we need to know the equation for area of a triangle, and that is going to be area equals base times height divided by 2. So this is going to be 10 times 6 divided by 2. So we have 60 divided by 2, so this is going to equal 30 square units. So 31. Determine the area of a circle with the radius of 7. So when we talk about the radius, if we have a circle, the radius is the distance from the center to outside the circle. The diameter is one side of the circle to the other. So again, we need to know the equation for the area of a circle. So area equals pi r squared. So now we can plug these numbers in. So pi times 7 squared. And remember, you're going to have a calculator. So what you do first is you square 7 and then you multiply it times pi. So what's going to happen is you're going to get 49 because that's 7 squared pi. Just plug that into your calculator and you're going to get 153.9. 37.94 square units. All right, 32. Calculate the area of a trapezoid with the base of 6 and 9 and a height of 4. So again, you're going to have to memorize these equations for area, but the area of a trapezoid is area equals base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2. So we're going to plug these numbers in. So we have base 1 is 6 plus base 2 is 9 times a height of 4. And then we're going to divide this by 2. So this becomes 15 times 4 divided by 2. So 15 times 4 is going to be 60 divided by 2 equals 30 square units. And that is our answer. (33) Find the circumference of a circle with the diameter of 12. So remember we talked about the radius versus diameter. So we need to, again, know the equation for this. So circumference equals pi times diameter. So we just plug this in. So we have pi times 12, and we're just going to plug that into our calculator. We'll get 37.68 units. (34) Calculate the volume of a cube with the edge of 4. So again, you need to memorize these equations. So volume equals the edge cubed. So again, we have a calculator, so when something is cubed, we multiply it by itself and then multiply it again by itself. So for this, we're going to plug in the edge is 4. So 4 cubed is what we want to find. So in your calculator, you may be able to plug in 4 to the cube. If you are not, you will do 4 times 4 times 4. And you're going to get 64 cubic units. (35) Determine the volume of a rectangular prism with dimensions 4, 5, and 6. So the equation for this is volume equals length times width times height. So again, we plug it in. Equals 4 times 5 times 6. You can put that in your calculator and you're going to get 120 cubic units. Find the volume of a cylinder with the radius of 3 and the height of 10. So our equation is going to be volume equals pi times radius squared times height. So we're going to have pi times 3 squared times 10. And this is going to go to 3 squared is going to be 3 times 3 is 9 times 10. So we're going to have 90 pi. And we'll just plug that into our calculator. And we're going to get 283.53 cubic units. (37) Calculate the volume of a sphere with the radius of 5. So the equation for this, volume of a sphere equals 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. So this is going to equal 4/3 times pi times, our radius is 5, so 5 cubed. And this is going to then go to 4/3 times pi times 125, because this is going to be 5 times 5 times 5. It's 125. And if we plug this into our calculator, we are going to get 523.6 cubic units. 38. Find the volume of a cone with the radius of 4 and the height of 8. So our equation for the volume of a cone is that volume equals 1/3 times pi times the radius cubed times height. So we're going to have 1/3 times pi times our radius is 4, 4 cubed, times our height is 8. All right, and this will go to 1/3 times pi times, it's going to be 4 times 4 times 4, which will give us 128. So we're going to plug this all into our calculator and we'll get 134.04 cubic units. 39. Find the sum of the angles of a hexagon. So our equation for this, and I would say the best thing to do is write down these equations and have them on flashcards because you will need to memorize them. So sum of the angles equals n minus 2 times 180. And n is the number of sides. So the sum of the angles of a hexagon, so we know that a hexagon has 6 sides. So sum of the angles equals 6 minus 2 times 180 degrees. So we have 4 times 180 degrees equals 720 degrees. So calculate the measure of interior angles in a regular octagon. So again, sum of angles equals n minus 2 times 180 degrees. And we know that an octagon has 8 sides. So this is going to be 8 minus 2 times 180 degrees, so 6 times 180 degrees. It's going to equal 1080 degrees. Determine the value of x in the following equation. So to do this, like we did earlier, we want to get x on one side of the equation and then all the numbers on the other side. So we're going to have 2x plus 4 equals 16. So first thing we're going to do is minus 4 from both sides. This is going to give us 2x equals 12. Then what we want to do is divide 2 on both sides, so these cancel. So we're going to have x equals 6, and that is our answer. So 42. Interpret the data in the following bar graph. So which genre has the least number of books sold? So we can see books sold is showed in this chart, and it is identified by the blue lines. So we can look at, we want to see which is the least. So fiction, we can see 20. Nonfiction, we see 15. Mystery, we see 5. And science fiction, oops, sorry, this is 10. And science fiction, we see 5. So the answer is science fiction. Using the data from the previous question, what is the total number of books sold? So we have 20 plus 15 plus 10 plus 5, which is going to equal 50 books. Okay. 44. Solve the proportion 3/5 equals x divided by 10. So we have 3/5 equals x over 10. So what we need to do is we need to cross multiply. So this means that we are going to do like this. So 3 times 10 equals 5 times x, or 5x. So that is going to go to 30 equals 5x. And then what we want to do is we want to get x on one side of the equation, so we'll divide by 5. That will cancel. And then we have 6 equals x, and that is our answer. X equals 6. "45. In a school, the ratio of boys to girls is 3 to 4. If there are 420 students, how many girls are there?" So our boys to girls ratio is 3 to 4 with 420 students. So our total ratio equals 3 plus 4, so that's going to equal 7. So to figure out girls, we know that this is boys, this is girls, so to figure out girls, it's going to be 4 over the total, which is 7, times 420 students. And we're going to just plug this into our calculator and we'll get 240. That is the answer. 46. A laptop is on sale for 15% off the original price of $800. What is the sale price? So the discount is going to be 15%, so this will change to 0.15. So 0.15 times the $800 original price equals $120, so that is the discount. So the sale price will equal 800 minus that 120, which is going to give us $680, and that is our answer. Solve for x. 5x equals 10, or sorry, 5x plus 10 equals 35. So we have 5x plus 10 equals 35. First thing we're going to do, because we want to get x alone on one side of the equation, is we're going to subtract 10 from both sides. So we get 5x equals 25. Then we'll divide each side by 5. That will cancel out. And this will go to x equals 5. And that is our answer. Calculate the area of a parallelogram with a base of 8 and a height of 6. So to find the area of a parallelogram, area equals base times height. So this will be a base of 8 times a height of 6 equals 48 square units. And that is our answer. Find the slope of a line that passes through the points -1 and 3 and 2 and -4. So you want to remember that this is our x1, y1, x2, y2. So our equation is slope equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So we're just going to plug this in. So we have -4 minus 3 divided by 2 minus -1 equals, so we're going to have -7 because this will change to plus -3, so we have -7 divided by, this will change to plus, this will change to plus, so divided by 3, and that is our answer, -7 divided by 3. So round the decimal 2.71828 to 3 decimal places. So to find the third decimal place, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. So we want to figure out this one. So we look to the one after it, and we can see that it is 2. So we know that if it's 2, we round down. Anything up 5 or above, we round up. So because we're rounding down, it's going to be 2.718. And that will be 3 decimal places. (51) Estimate the product of 6.75 times 4.21. So we want to round these decimals because it says estimate. We want to round these decimals to whole numbers. So let's look at the first one, 6.75. Well, because 7 is greater than 5, we're going to round up. So this is going to change to 7. When we look at 4.21, 2 is less than 5, so this is going to round down to 4. So we're going to do 7 times 4 equals 28, and that will be our answer. Add the decimals 0.67 plus 0.48. So remember, you're going to have a calculator, but 0.67 plus 0.48 equals 1.15. So again, just plug it in your calculator. That's the answer. Subtract the decimals 4.2 minus 2.5. Again, you have a calculator. Just plug those in. It will be 1.7. 54. Multiply the decimals 0.5 times 0.4. Again, you have a calculator, so 0.5 times 0.4 is going to equal 0.2. That will be your answer. 55. Divide the decimals 3.6 divided by 1.2. So again, you have a calculator, but you will plug this in and you're going to get 3. Calculate the area of a rhombus with the diagonals of 6 and 8. So we need to remember this equation. So area equals 0.5 times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So we'll just plug it in, 0.5 times 6 times 8. We can plug that into our calculator and we're going to get 24 square units. 57. Calculate the area of a kite with the diagonals of 10 and 4. So again, using that same equation, area equals 0.5 times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So 0.5 times 10 times 4. We can plug it into our calculator and we get 20 square units. 58. Find the sum of the interior angles of a 12-sided polygon. So we need to remember that equation that we talked about, finding the sum of angles equals n minus 2 times 180 degrees, where n is the number of sides, and we know we have a 12-sided. So we're going to plug it in, 12 minus 2 times 180 degrees. So we have 10 times 180. So this is going to equal 1800 degrees. And that is our answer. 59. Calculate the measure of each interior angle in a regular 20-sided polygon. So again, sum of angles equals n minus 2 times 180 degrees when n is the number of sides. So we have 20 minus 2 times 180 degrees. We're going to plug this into our calculator, and we're going to get 3,240 degrees. But this is asking for the measure of each interior angle. So in order to find the measure of each interior angle is going to equal the sum of angles over n. Okay, so we have 3,240 degrees, that's our sum of angles, over, we know that n is the number of sides, so over 20. We can plug this into our calculator and we get 162 degrees, and that is our answer. Determine the value of x in the following equation. So we have 5x minus 3 equals 17. We want to get x on one side of the equation, so first we add 3 to both sides. We get 5x equals 20 divided by 5 on each side. And we're going to get x equals 4, and that is our answer. Interpret the data in the following pie chart. What percentage of people prefer rock music? So if we look down at the bottom here, we can see all the different genre types, and rock music is orange. So that is here, and the chart tells us that it is 25%. And that's really all these questions will be, how to read a chart. Then using the data from the previous question, what is the total percentage of people who prefer pop and jazz music? So pop is blue, jazz is yellow. So this is our pop is going to be 30 plus our jazz is going to be 15. So this will be 45%. Solve for the proportion 7 over 3 equals x over 6. So we need to cross multiply. So we're going to have 7 over 3 equals x over 6. And remember, we cross multiply. So we're going to have 7 times 6 equals 3 times x. This is going to change to 42 equals 3x. And we divide each side by 3 because we want to get x alone. And this will equal x equals 14. In a group of 60 people, the ratio of men to women is 2 to 3. How many men are there in the group? So our total ratio is 2 to 3, so that equals 2 plus 3 equals 5. So 5 is our total ratio. And men, so we know men is 2. So men equals 2 over 5 times the total, which is going to be 60, equals 24, and that is our answer. A television set is on sale for 10% off the original price of $1,200. What is the sale price? So first we want to find the discount. So the discount is 10%, so this is going to change to 0.10. So 0.10 times the total price of $1,200 equals 120. So that is our discount. And then our sale price is going to be the original price of $1,200 minus the discount of $120, which is going to equal $1,080. And that is our answer. All right, so solve for x. 4x minus 7 equals 9. So again, we want to get x on one side of the equation. So first we're going to add 7 to both sides. And this will be 16. So we have 4x equals 16. We divide this side by 4 to cancel out, and this side by 4. And we're going to get x equals 4. Calculate the area of an annulus with the outer radius of 6 and an inner radius of 3. So what an annulus is it kind of looks like this. It's a circle within a circle. So we need to know the equation. So this is going to be area equals pi, the radius of the outer circle, so the larger one, so radius squared, minus radius of the smaller circle squared. So again, the large R is the outer radius and the small r is the inner radius. So outer radius is 6, inner radius is 3. So we have area equals pi 6 squared minus 3 squared. And this is going to change to pi 36 minus 9, which is going to be pi 27. We're going to plug that into our calculator and we'll get 84.78 square units. And that is our answer. 68. Find the slope of a line that passes through the points 4 and 2 and 8 and 10. So again, we know this is x1 and y1, x2 and y2. We know that our slope, m always is slope, so a slope equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So m equals 10 minus 2 divided by 8 minus 4. So this is going to equal 8 divided by 4. And that equals 2. So our slope is 2. 69. Round the decimal 1.61803 to 4 decimal places. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the decimal place we want to go to. We look at the one after it, and it is a 3. That's less than 5, so we round down. So the answer will be 1.6180. Estimate the quotient 12.3 divided by 3.6. So because we are estimating, we are rounding to whole numbers. So first we look at 12.3. Because 3 is less than 5, this is going to round to 12. And when we look at 3.6, because 6 is greater than 5, this is going to round up to 4. So 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Add the decimals 0.23 plus 0.99. Again, you have a calculator, so just plug them in and you get 1.22. Subtract the decimals 6.8 minus 2.5. Again, you have a calculator, so just plug it into the calculator and you will get 4.3. Multiply the decimals 0.7 times 0.3. Again, you have a calculator, just plug them in, you're going to get 0.21. Divide the decimals 4.5 divided by 1.5. Again, you have a calculator, so just plug them in, you're going to get 3. Calculate the area of a triangle with the sides of lengths 5, 6, and 7 using Heron's formula. So Heron's formula is semi-perimeter, which is S, equals the sides, so 5 plus 6 plus 7 divided by 2. So if we do this, we get 13 plus 5 is 18 divided by 2, we're getting 9. So the semi-perimeter is 9. Then what we do is the area equals the square root of the semi-perimeter times the semi-perimeter minus A multiplied by the semi-perimeter minus B multiplied by the semiperimeter minus c. So let's just plug this in. We're going to get 9 times 9 minus 5 times 9 minus 6 times 9 minus 7. So this is going to equal the square root of 9 times 4 times 3 times 2. And we're going to plug this into our calculator, and we're going to get 14.7 square units. And this is a more advanced problem. So if you got this one right, great job. So find the sum of the exterior angles of a pentagon. So this one is kind of a trick question because the sum of exterior angles of any polygon is always 360 degrees. Calculate the measures of each exterior angle in a 12-sided polygon. So again, the sum of exterior angles in any polygon is 360 degrees. So since this is a regular polygon, it says regular, all exterior angles are equal. So each exterior angle is going to equal that 360 degrees divided by the 12 sides. So 30 degrees is our answer. Determine the value of x in the following equation. 3x plus 5 equals 14. So again, we want to get x alone on one side of the equation, so we minus 5, that will cancel, minus 5, we get 3x equals 9. Divide the side by 3 to cancel, divide this side by 3, and we get x equals 3. Interpret the following line graph. On which day was temperature the highest? So we can see our temperatures over here. We can see our days down here. We can see right here is the highest temperature, so that's going to be Wednesday, and that is our answer. Using the data from the previous question, what is the difference in temperature between Monday and Wednesday? Well, we can see Wednesday is 60 degrees, and then Monday is 50 degrees. So the difference between Monday and Wednesday is going to be 60 on Wednesday minus 50 on Monday. So our answer is 10 degrees in Fahrenheit because the temperature is in Fahrenheit. And that's our answer. Solve the proportion 9 over 12 equals x over 16. So we're going to cross multiply. So 9 over 12 equals x over 16. So again, we cross multiply. So we have 9 times 16 equals 12x. So this is going to be 144 equals 12x. We divide both sides by 12. And we're going to get x equals 12. And again, you have a calculator, so you can just plug those numbers in. In a class of 40 students, the ratio of boys to girls is 3 to 5. How many boys are there in the class? All right, so the total ratio of boys and girls equals 3 plus 5, so 8 is the total ratio. So each part represents 40 over 8 because our total number of students is 40. So we take the total number of students and we divide it by the total ratio, which is 8. So which means each part of this ratio is 5 students. So since they're asking how many are boys, we know that boys are 3 parts. So boys are going to be 3 times that 5 equals, there are 15 boys in the class. And that is our answer. $83. A pair of shoes is on sale for 25% off the original price of $60. What is the sale price? So the discount price is going to equal 25% of $60. So in order to figure that out, our 25 becomes 0.25, and we multiply that by 60, which is going to be $15. So this is the discount. Then our sale price is going to be the original price, which is $60, minus the discount, which is $15, and that's going to give us $45, and that is the answer. 84. Solve for x. 7x plus 5 equals 26. So we want to get x alone on one side of the equation, so we first subtract 5 from each side. We get 7x equals 21. Divide both sides by 7. Those cancel out, so we get x equals 3. 85. Calculate the area of a sector of a circle with a radius of 5 and a central angle of 60 degrees. So the equation to find an area of a sector equals the central angle divided by 360 times pi times radius squared. So then we're just going to plug it in. So area of a sector equals, so we have the angle of 60, so the central angle is 60 degrees, divided by 360 degrees, times pi times our radius is 5, so 5 squared. So this is going to equal 1/6 times pi times 25. So this is 5 times 5. And we're going to just plug that into our calculator and we'll get 13.09 square units. And that's our answer. 86. Find the slope of a line that passes through the points -2 and 4 and 1 and -1. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. Our equation is slope equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So we're just going to plug it in. So we have -1 minus 4 divided by 1 minus -2. So this is going to become plus -4, so we have -5 divided by plus +2, so divided by 3. So our answer is -5/3. Round the decimal 0.1234 to the 5th decimal place. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer, because nothing comes after this, it will round down. So 0.12345 is our answer. Estimate the sum of 3.14 plus 1.62. So because it's asking to estimate, we take 3.14. Because the first number is a 1 after the decimal place, we are going to round down, so this becomes 3. When we look at 1.62, the first number after the decimal is a 6, so we round up, but that's a 2. So we are going to do 3 plus 2 equals 5, and that is the answer. Add the decimals 0.15 and 0.24. Again, you have a calculator, so you'll just plug that in, and it's 0.39. Subtract the decimals. 7.1 minus 3.3. Again, you have a calculator, so just plug it in and you will get 3.8. Multiply the decimals. 0.8 times 0.2. Again, you have a calculator, so you'll just plug that in and it's 1.6. And divide the decimals. 5.4 divided by 1.8. So you can plug this into your calculator, but if you were going to do this in your head, the best thing to do is to multiply both sides by 10 in order to make this easier to visualize. So if we did that, 5.4 divided by 1.8, and we multiply both by 10, it's going to become 54 over 18. And 18 goes into 54 3 times. So our answer is 3. But again, just plug it into your calculator. Calculate the area of a rectangle with the length of 12 and the width of 7. So area of a rectangle, area equals length times width. So we have 12 times 7, which equals 84. And that's our answer. Find the circumference of a circle with a radius of 9. So the circumference equals 2 times pi times r. So this will be 2 times pi times 9. So that's our r, which is going to equal 56.55. And again, you just plug this into your calculator. Determine the value of x in the following equation. 4x minus 6 equals 10. Again, we want to put x on one side of the equation, so we're going to add 6 to both sides. 4x equals 16 divided by 4. X equals 4. And that is our answer. Right. Interpret the following histogram. In which score range do the most students fall? So we can see here are score ranges. And here are the number of students that fall there. So 0 to 10, we have 2. 11 to 20, we have 4. 21 to 30, we have 6. 31 to 40, we have 8. And 41 to 50, we have 4. So the range most students fall are going to be 31 to 40 right here. Solve the proportion 5/8 equals x over 16. So we're going to cross multiply. So we have 5/8 equals x over 16. We're going to cross multiply like this. So we have 80 because 5 times 16 is 80 equals 8x. Then we're going to divide each side by 8. We're going to get x equals 10. In a group of 100 people, the ratio of men to women is 3 to 2. How many women are in the group? So the total ratio of men to women is 3 plus 2 equals 5. So 5 is the total ratio. So each part represents the total number of people, which is 100, divided by the total ratio, which is 5. So that's going to equal 20 people. So each part of this ratio is 20 people. So what we want to know is women. So women is 2. So what we're going to do is take the 2 parts women, we're going to times it by each part is 20 people. So 20 is going to equal 40 women in the group. And that is our answer. 99. A purse is for sale for 30% off the original price of 90. What is the sale price? So the discount price is going to be 30 is going to change to 0.3. So this is going to be 0.3 times the original price of 90, which will be 27. So 27 is our discount price. So in order to figure out the total sale cost, we take the original price minus the discount. It's going to be 90 minus the $27 discount equals $63, and that is our answer. So solve for x. 6x minus 8 equals 22. We want to get x on one side of the equation, so we add 8 to both sides. It's going to be 6x equals 30. We're going to divide each side by 6. So we're going to get x equals 5, and that is our answer. If you're interested in getting these practice problems or my study guide or courses, you can check them out on my website, blossomwithjessica.com.